North Wrestling NCL were forced to cancel a Sheffield show due to the recent Deathmatch controversy in the UK. Wrestling Entertainment Series announced their full card for their show in Nottingham. The winner of Progress Super Strong Style 16 tournament will be crowned the new Progress World Champion. Wrestle Carnival have teamed up with Pro Wrestling Noah for their anniversary show, and Rhio's first match for Tokyo Joshi Pro has been announced. Hello, welcome. This is Untitled, the Great British Wrestling podcast for Great British Wrestling, as featured on bodyslam.net, brought to you by Power4 TV. I am the Great British Attacker, Mr. Andrew Moore, Andy to most, and I am riding solo today. Unfortunately, neither Dan nor Stephen can be here, but needless to say, I will try to be entertaining as possible. But we do have tape reviews from both Stephen Soudan, where he attended the recent UBW show, and we also have a tape review of Big Daddy Dan's NXT UK, because, well, I didn't bother to watch it this week, so I really needed him to do that, which he has. Fantastic. I have not seen them, so I'm going blind. We'll just have to see what they say when I actually edit the video. We've got plenty of British wrestling news. We've got European wrestling news. We've got top picks for the week, and plenty of wrestling reviews. I think I should just pretty much just get cracking because, as I say, I'm just by myself on my little lonesome, but it's not a problem. So first up, North Wrestling. Yeah. So the first time in their 6-year history, North Wrestling NCL have had to cancel one of their shows. This was due to the recent Deathmatch controversy. They was due to be a Sheffield show, their first time outside of Newcastle for a long time. It was supposed to be next week. I know the main event was going to be Liam Slater versus Joseph Connors for the North Wrestling Championship. But so let's just read the statement. Due to the recent controversy around Deathmatch wrestling, there has been tighter scrutiny placed on the venue by local councils and police. So this is for North Wrestling to unfortunately cancel their show. Now, a little fairness, I'm going to be try to be impartial here, but in fairness to the promotion, to the councils and the police, North Wrestling do not do deathmatch wrestling, but they do certainly did or were certainly doing a lot of DQ, no DQ matches, because Rory Coyle was the champion. He was a member of the Sick Boys, and he's a hardcore wrestler. I wouldn't classify Rory Coyle as a deathmatch wrestler per se, but he's definitely a hardcore wrestler. And there may have been one or two North Wrestling main events that featured no DQ that personally were a bit past my taste for hardcore wrestling. However, North Wrestling NCL are an extremely well-run professional promotion who have lots of safety guards in place, including trained paramedics at shows. And as I say, these are hardcore matches. They are not death matches. They're not extreme death matches. There were no weed whackers. There were no glass tubes or anything like that. And if blood was drawn, it was very little blood. But you can maybe understand the council's position on that, given some of the history with North Wrestling's current former champion. Hopefully, with Liam Slater in charge, we'll see much more proper wrestling in the main events. But as I say, this shouldn't really be held against North. They don't do deathmatch. They're not extreme. Yes, they're happy to do a hardcore match. Yes, they're happy to certainly do a little no DQ. But everything's safety first with North, and as I say, a true professional company. I think it's a very harsh judgment on North Wrestling, and I stand with North Wrestling on this. I don't think they should have had to cancel their show, but goddamn CCW Colliery Championship Wrestling, you absolute idiots! You have cost people work. I've got no Dan here, so I can go off on one this time around. But no, they're just a bunch of idiots. They shouldn't have done what they fucking did. It's ridiculous that they did it, and it's a shame that a promotion such as North Wrestling gets punished. Hopefully, we don't see more promotions get punished. I know it's Rev Pro UK had somebody had asked Rev Pro UK the question on one of their weekly Q&As if they've had any issues with venues, and fortunately they haven't. So let's just hope this is kind of a one-off thing, and North Wrestling NCL, they will be back in action with another sold-out show, which will be to celebrate their 6th anniversary show, Party Till You Puke, which is in Newcastle. And on, I don't know, I didn't write it down, bear with me. There has been it is on the 9th of July, Saturday the 9th of July, Party Till You Puke, 6 years. Scotty Too Hottie will be there, sorry, Scott Garland. It is a sold-out show once again. Congratulations to North Wrestling. The Sheffield show was a sellout as well, so the fact that they've had to do refunds for a sellout show, which I'm assuming probably range from 200 to 300 people, is not. I'm sure it caused a few headaches for North Wrestling with that. But as I say, their 6th anniversary show, Party Till I Puke, on the 9th of July. And they have announced that the second semi-final match for their tag team tournament to crown new champions or first ever champions. So that semi-final is Crash Boat versus Lizzie Evo, and Tonga versus Adam Maxted and Shreddy. Oh, that's a ripped team, isn't it? Maxted and Shreddy. I've seen Lizzie Evo and Tonga in action together. They're a really good. Crash Boat, of course, one of my favorite teams. Jack Bandicoot and Jake Silver are so much fun, so inventive with the way they wrestle. I really hope they somehow manage to come away with the win in this match up. Good luck, boys. Right, Wrestling Entertainment Series. Yes, that new promotion that was set up by the former authors of Pain. So they've announced the lineup for their upcoming debut show, which is on the 4th of June in Nottingham. So we got Adam Scher, that's the former Braun Strowman, versus Alistair Overeem, a former MMA fighter who, as far as I'm aware, hasn't competed in a wrestling match. He is a Dutch kickboxer and very good success in MMA and UFC, including a win over Brock Lesnar. So there you go. Leanna Fanny or Nia Jax will be taking on CJ Perry or Lana. Yeah, everyone's desperate to see that match. Legion of Pain, the former authors of Pain, they'll be facing off against Wesley Blake and Steve, Weston Blake and Steve Macklin, who were the Forgotten Sons. Killer Cross, former Karrion Cross versus Jonah, Bronson Reed versus Samurai del Sol or Callisto. And then you've got Dean Matardi versus Lindsay Dorado, Dirty Dango, the former Fandango, versus Levi's Venezuela Jr., or the former No Way Jose. So what are my thoughts on this? My thoughts is, where's a British wrestler? There's a Dutch wrestler there, so you got some European, but he's a former MMA fighter. Where's the British talent on this card? You're holding a big show. You can't fit one. I hope something like they can have some pre-matches with Adam Bolt and Joseph Connor's young protege. I've forgotten his name. I do apologize. But there are lots of great young talent in Nottingham, and I think it's really unfortunate that we're not getting, a couple of these guys. Riley Nova, that was it. Riley Nova and Adam Bolt. Yeah, let's have a pre-matchup between Riley Nova and Adam Bolt. Look, my honest prediction of this is either CYN UK. This isn't a British wrestling promotion. This is a bunch of ex-WWE guys trying to stick it to WWE by saying, well, we'll run a show ourselves and we'll be if they sell 10% of their tickets of this huge stadium, I'll be surprised, and they should count that as a win. Because, yeah, I have no interest, zero interest in going to this show. I'm sure there's a few people who do. I'm sure there's some people out there who like these guys. They're all good performers. You know, Killer Cross was fantastic. Big old Jonah, he was a great heavyweight. Somewhere Callisto was just a phenomenal performer. Lindsay Dorado, the same. But yeah, there's, you know, I don't think there's anybody looking to see Liana Vey versus CJ Perry. Just going to be honest there. The same with Braun Strowman versus Alistair Overeem, was like no build whatsoever. So again, not interested. You know, if they put some build behind the Alistair Overeem and Braun Strowman, it could have been something. You know, it could have built towards that down the road, but just randomly announce it 2 weeks before a show, no build up, no things. The Legion of Pain, Killer Cross, yeah, you know, there's names that I'm sure there are young fans of the WWE out there who watched NXT who do want to go see these performers, and I don't begrudge them that. I think it's an absolute insult. I know this was supposed to be happening in Dubai, but they couldn't do it, so they ended up doing it here in the UK. But no effort to bring in anybody from the UK. I believe they've got Matthew Renhold as the commentator, the former Aiden English. Yeah, Matthew Renhold from, as I say, yeah, the former Aiden English. So again, well, they got coach as well, Jonathan Coachman joins the commentary team. But, you know, where's Simon Miller? Where's Dave Bradshaw? Where's all these fantastic British commentators that we have here in the UK? I mean, hell, where's SoCal Val? She was phenomenal. Or Jade. She was, again, absolutely fantastic. Either way, I honestly think this promotion, I'm not going to be too harsh, but I just couldn't care less. It just seems like a bunch of people who want to give the middle finger to WWE and say, yeah, we could be successful. And I don't doubt they can. They were all fantastic talents, but it's just a wasted opportunity, in my opinion. So a bit disappointed in that. Anyway, let's go on to something that I am happy about, which is the Progress Chapter 134, No Mountain High Enough. Following that, obviously, we talked about it last week. Jonathan Gresham was stripped of the title due to due to the booking, really, if you want to ask. It was just they had to get the title off Jonathan Gresham, which they did, and good to see that. Overall, let's do my review of the show very, very quickly. Let's start off with that, and then we'll get on to the news that obviously has come out of all of this. So, Alexis Falcon versus Sky Smithson. Alexis Falcon picked up the win in this table match. It was a good match. Ricky Knight Jr. versus Leon Slater was absolutely fantastic. The two young lads absolutely tore the place down. The crowd was super into this match. They absolutely loved it. Raven Creed defeated Max the Impaler due to, Ricky Knight Jr. picked up the win over Leon Slater. Raven Creed picked up the win over Max the Impaler due to Lana trying to get herself involved and ending up costing Max the match due to the most devastating move in all of wrestling, the roll-up. Now, Cara Noir versus Spike Trivet was not the main event. It was the end to part one of the show, but not the main event. And this was due to Cara Noir's request because he didn't believe that Spike Trivet deserved the main event. Just stoke the fires even more. It was Hustle Malone who had to give the news to Spike Trivet, and I don't know, there might be something heading down the line between Hustle Malone and Spike Trivet. We'll see. It depends on who loses, because they had a phenomenal match up until the double DQ. As I say, they didn't do an early double DQ. They gave this a decent length before the double DQ came into effect. It was violent. It was strong style. It was beautiful. It was fantastic. I really enjoyed it, and the whole, I don't care that it ended in the double DQ. I'm absolutely fine with that. They continued to brawl afterwards, beating up the Progress security team, or the young wrestlers that do the crowd control and so forth. So a lot of those guys got a bit of a kick in from both Spike Trivet and Current Noir. And in the end, it was Spike Trivet who managed to get onto the stage and away from Current Noir. He grabbed the microphone and then challenged Current Noir to that I Quit, Loser Leaves Progress match, which will be during the Super Strong Style. It's the 3rd and 4th and 5th of June. I will be there. It's going to be fantastic. We'll be celebrating my stag do. Congratulations to myself for that. But yeah, Super Strong Style 16. I don't know. They haven't announced which show it will be on, whether it will be on the final show or the second show or the first show. Given that the match that's going to come up in a minute, I will get on to that. Maga, Bobby Guns, Jan Simmons, Axel Tiska, the winner, got a place in the Super Strong Style 16. This was fantastic. The crowd really got into Maga. I'm so happy about this. There seemed to be a nice little German contingent of fans at that Progress as well. So that was phenomenal to see some guys coming all the way over from Germany to support Maga, Bobby Guns, Jan Simmons, and Axel Tiska. It was Maga who came that way with the win. As I say, his entrance is just hypnotic. I love the music, so Susan down to a T, and crowd just really gets behind it. Luke Jacobs versus Roy Johnson was a short but hard-hitting match, which Luke Jacobs retained in the Atlas Championship. Sunshine Machines and Smoking Aces obviously was that draw. We talked about it last week. It's going to be a ladder match during the Super Strong Style 16. Don't know which day that's going to be on as yet, but it'll be on one of those days. It was a fantastic match. Sunshine Machine and Smoking Aces are just both phenomenal, amazing tag teams. It was chaotic. There were bodies flying everywhere. Really enjoyed this match. As I say, draw, and he got away with a win. Gene Money versus Jonathan Gresham. As I say, so Jonathan Gresham and Kid Lycos and Lycos Dude beat Gene Money down before the match, at which point the Progress management said that if Lycos Jim got involved or he got himself disqualified during the match, he would be stripped of the Progress World title. And that's exactly what happened. However, there was a decent length match before so. They gave both Gene Money and Jonathan Gresham time to work. There were a lot of spots where, Gresham was almost refusing to cheat despite Lycos Jim trying to get him to cheat. But as I say, in the end, overall, I would give this show 4 sugars. It was a really good show. As I say, I know some people talk about the booking of the championship. Some may have an issue with the fact that there was no winner in the Current Noir Spike Fray, but I don't mind that. So as the good thing to me is, yes, that continues because it's been a phenomenal rivalry that's right up there with all of the best rivalries of Progress, and it deservedly needs to be up and held in that esteem. It was bad things, of course. The whole championship, I'm not sure. It's a bit. I like the fact that the winner's going to win the belt. That Super Strong Style 16. But other than that, it's been a bit Yeah, with regards to that booking. Another thing that I didn't like is I didn't think Ricky Knight Jr. got good enough music. It was very generic. Ricky Knight Jr. deserves a real banging type of entrance music that the fans can really get behind. I love his entrance music in Rev Pro UK. So can we get something similar to that? Because RKJ deserves a top level entrance music, not some generic music. There was a part where Kanji came out to challenge Giselle Shaw to a 2 out of 3 falls. That was really good. Kanji's promo was very energetic, very passionate, and overall, as I say, that fatal 4-way for the spot between the WXW guys, they absolutely fantastic. The crowd really got into that match, which was awesome, and really got into all of the guys. So it's supporting, as I say, that support for Maggot was definitely there, and I think everyone was quite happy that Maggot came away with the win. At a later point, Axel Tiska then challenged Luke Jacobs for the Atlas Championship. I would have preferred that to be Jørn Simmons. Maybe we can still fit that in during the Super Strong Style 16 weekend. Maybe get Jørn Simmons versus Luke Jacobs, because that would be a excellent heavyweight matchup. But yeah, as I say, coming out of that, on the final day of the Super Strong Style 16 weekend, Kanji will challenge Giselle Shaw for that title that she never lost in a 2 out of 3 falls matchup. So given that that's going to be on the final day, I believe the Spikes Revet and the ladder match will either be on day 1 and day 2. I'd probably put the ladder match in day 1. No, I think they'll both be on day 2. Yeah, I'm going to go with a ladder match and Cara Noir being on day 2. Cara Noir, Spike Revet on day 2. Some phenomenal news coming out of Wrestle Carnival. They had a great show last night, as far as I can see on social media. Fans really enjoyed the show, which is fantastic to see. But Wrestle Carnival are going to be teaming up with Noah. Pro Wrestling Noah from Japan. So Noah are returning to the UK to be part of Wrestle Carnival's first anniversary show, which is on the 7th of August. And I damn well will be there. I guarantee that. I'm psyched for this. I'm so excited. There's so many guys I would love to see. Now, I'm going to talk about a little bad thing and a thing that I just want to get out of the way because I don't want to be accused of ignoring this. Of course, Michael Elgin does perform for Pro Wrestling Noah. He had accusations during speaking out. And also, Hajime Ohara, who is a member of the Pro Wrestling Noah roster, was accused of physical assault, not sexual, but physical assault. I'm not going to say any further than that. I can't disparage because of Japanese defamation laws are really bad. So I'm just not going to go too far in saying that they're an absolutely bad company. But, you know, controversy out of the way. Let's talk about the guys I am super excited to see, including Marufuji, Nakajima. Oh, God, I'd love to see Nakajima. Keno. Yeah, Keno would be another one that I would be Kaito Kitayama. I would really love to see that young man. I think he's one of the future of Noah. You've got obviously Chris Ridgway. We won't talk about that, but yeah, the guys are Daisuke Harada, Atushi Kotage. These guys. There's so many guys that I'm really excited to see. Really hope that you bring Ninja Mac to Gary if you're listening. Can we get Ninja Mac? He's a Noah performer. I know not in the UK, but yeah, he's phenomenal. He's just so much fun, and he was so suit the Wrestle Carnival aesthetic. But yeah, as I say, I am dead excited for this, and 100% I'll be there. I'm not sure I'll be able to get a VIP ticket because I heard they are selling out fast. So if you want your VIP ticket for that show, get your ass on it soon because I've heard that these Noah tickets are selling supremely fast, and that should be deservedly so. It's going to be phenomenal. Gary Ward, what he's done with Wrestle Carnival in a short space of time has been phenomenal. You talk about the fact that they've worked with promotions such as ROH. They were part of the WXW showcase show. They were now going to be working with Pro Wrestling Noah. I know Gary, he just loves wrestling, and if you're a supporter of somebody who loves wrestling, Wrestle Carnival for me is the show for you. It provides plenty of variety, as it states. It is Wrestle Carnival, the wrestling variety show, and you should get yourselves down to see the Pro Wrestling Noah performers because they're all fantastic, and it would be well worth it. Let's stick with Noah because we'll talk about Chris Ridgway for a second here. He will be returning to the UK, still one half of the Global Heavyweight Championship Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Champions alongside Yoshinori Ogawa after their recent match against other Stinger members, Seikei Yoshikawa and Yuya Suzuma. Ended in a no contest as a result of another faction getting involved and basically beating everybody down. I couldn't tell you who the other faction was. Sorry, apparently they are a returning faction. It was a good match. It was a shame it ended the way it did. It's 3.5 sugars. Chris Ridgway returns to the UK undefeated in Pro Wrestling Noah in the 5 matchups he had while he was out there. Now, unfortunately, the same cannot be said for Chris Brooks. He is no longer the DDT KOD tag team champions after he and his Calamari Drunken Kings partner Masahiro Takanashi lost their championships to Mao and Asuka. This is on DDT Pro. Both the Chris Ridgway matches and the Chris Brooks match are on the Wrestle Universe. Get your 2-week free trial. This was a very entertaining match. It was silly. It was Chris Brooks and DDT down to a T. Very entertaining. Not 100% my style. I'm going to give the match 3 sugars still. I still think it's definitely worth a watch, especially if you're into this. There's a lot of really fun spots. There are a lot of hard-hitting spots as well, which is why I'm giving it 3 sugars, because in amongst some of the stranger spots, there was some really good wrestling. So 3 sugars. Check it out. Rhio's first match has been announced, Tokyo Joshi Pro, as part of the spring tour in 2022, where she will be making her debut on the 29th of May against Yuki Aino. As I say, we're really stoked for Rhio in this. I'm sure she's going to hit Japanese wrestling hard. She's going to become a superstar very, very quickly. Good luck to her in there. I will be checking out her match next week. Yeah, I'll be able to do a review of her first match on the next Brit Wres Roundup. Let's talk about Ultimate British Wrestling in Stevenage, in Hertfordshire. The Japanese superstars are invading UBW on the 25th of June at Superstar Showdown. Taijiri will be facing Charles Crowley. Plus, the Saito brothers will face the heavyweight Heartbreakers. And right now, I'm going to hopefully kick it to Mr. Stephen Sowden on his video review of the last UBW show.
Hello. Bit different today. Rather than me sending the notes through to our beloved hosts, I'm doing a video for my ringside report. So the weekend I went to see the Square One show, Summer Sass. First time I've been for a Square One show, and I must say very, very, very good. I'm going to keep referring to my notes over here, so I'm looking away. That's what I'm doing. So first match was Spike Valentine versus Freddie Idol. Poor old Spike, still not having the best of times. He's still aligned with the meme team. He came out, and this was it was Freddie Idol's debut match. And Spike came out, got told off for not wearing the right merchandise by memes. They all had the yellow and black, but Spike had the black t-shirt and wasn't impressed. So he started off getting a bit of a telling off. Then he didn't want to fight. He stood in there, started to eat his lollipop. And then Freddie Idol kicked it out of his hand, and the match started. And to be fair, you know, Freddie had a real good match. It looked like he had the match won, but obviously Memes got involved and pulled the ref out the ring. So Spike got the win, but he was unhappy with the way he won because Meme Team obviously got interference. He kicked off so much of them that Memes then turned around and told Spike that he wasn't allowed back to be ringside for the main event of the show later on. Yeah, good solid match to start the show. I'm looking forward to seeing more from Freddie in the future, and Spike's carrying on. I'm quite liking this term for Spike. Coming into UBW, I didn't really know Spike because I, only started going to the shows after the pandemic, and he was already champion, so I didn't get to follow the story of him becoming champion. So I wasn't invested as such. I think I might have said this before, but I'm getting invested in him now. He's very, very good. The second match was Vinnie Cray versus Ricky Calvert. A little bit different. Last time I saw Ricky Calvert was with Big Daddy Dan at the Sacrifice over 18 show when he pulled an aubergine out of his pants. Yeah. But anyway, this time he came out with a paper bag that said hideously vile on it. And obviously he wanted to put that on Vinny's head. Calvert's really coming along. He's really improving. Every time I see him, he's getting better and better. Jack calls him a Wish version of Tyler Breeze for his gimmick with the mirror and the poses and stuff like that. And yeah, he won this match with an impressive sort of top rope walk along senton onto poor old Vinnie Cray. He got the 1, 2, 3. Good performance again from Vinnie Cray. He's another solid performer. Unfortunately, he got the bag put on his head at the end, so he was hideously vile. So, sorry. Next lot of notes. I'm not very professional at this, I don't know if you can tell. I mean, Andy and Dan, they got this down to a T. I'm sort of... Anyway, the next match was the main event of the first half, and it was Harrison Leon versus Mr. Charles Crowley. Now, I've seen Harrison Leon about for a while. He's, obviously he's been working the merch stand and selling the raffle tickets, and he had a small part in the Floor is Lava Rumble, and also I think it was the Christmas themed Rumble where they're all dressed up. He came out as an angel. But it was good to see him in his first proper match, and I'll tell you, he's going places. He's got the height and the build that would make Vince turn his head. He's definitely got something. And the match started against Mr. Crowley, and they were doing some dance moves, and then Crowley was trying to do it back and forth. And then they started off, having a good old match. But yeah, Crowley was sort of struggling because of the size of Harrison. He was, big guy and struggling with his strength. And then, but Crowley got up to his old tricks, got his old top hat out, went to do his little magic trick of what's in the hat? A fist. Went to punch Harrison, but he knew it was coming, caught the fist, and then they did that dance move. I don't know what it's called. I'm struggling here. Glad it's on video. Yeah. Then Harrison went on the offensive, and he went to go for a power bomb. Looked like his ankle gave way. He sort of fell down. Then Charles Crowley hit him with the spear and got the 1, 2, 3. Another good match. Very good match. And like I say, it was good to see Harrison Leon. Looking forward to seeing more of him in the future too. And then after the match, Crowley cut a promo telling us about the next UBW show on the 25th of June in Royston. Superstar Showdown, and he's going to be facing Tajiri, the WWE legend and the ECW and New Japan, everywhere he's been. Tajiri, I can't wait to see this. Him spraying green mist, Charles Crowley with a balloon, I don't know. But it's going to be good. And as Charles Crowley said, he's a trickster and Tajiri's the OG trickster. So can't wait to see that. Next match was Percy Traynor versus John Travius. I hope I got your name right, sorry. Percy has lost his 9 previous fights against John. So he didn't want to go for be 0 for 10. So Percy carried out his usual stuff of winding up the crowd, saying, you know, he was fitter than everybody else, and everybody was shouting back at him, calling him Percy Pig, which was always good. But he got in the ring, and I'd never seen this sort of side from Percy Traynor. He was a real nasty sort of anger and punching, and you know, his real strong shots he took to John. But Percy couldn't find a way to finish the match and got frustrated, went under the ring, got a chair, went for the chair shot, swung. John got out of the way, hit the rope, back in his face, knocked him out, and got the 1-2 for John. John got the 1-2-3. So Percy's now 0 for 10. You know, the streak continues. He got up and he sort of, you know, went to put his hand out for John to shake, and everybody thought, oh, you know, Percy's going to be Percy and kick him in the nuts or something. But no, he shook his hand, hugged him, and then walked off. So maybe Percy's turning good, you know, starting afresh. Sorry, next page. Next match was Rain Leverkusen versus Aluna Blue. Rain had a early injury to the arm, which hampered her throughout the match. But this was a real good match of strength from Rain's part and a bit high flying and agility from Aluna Blue. Yeah, probably the best out and out, no shenanigans, pure wrestling fight. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And Blue ended up winning with, to borrow Simon Miller's term, the most devastating move in all of sports entertainment, the surprise roll-up. So yeah, very good match. I think it's probably definitely give this the best match of the card. So the main event was Sassy Bear, J.K. Roberts, Josh Spicer versus the Mean Team. Adonis Payne started off bragging to the other three guys, because they were the opponents that have all faced him in the singles matches for his title, the Square One Championship. So, you know, he was showing off the belt, saying, you know, you couldn't do this on your own. What you going to do? You can't do it when I've got my team and all that lot. And then a good 6-man tag match began. Plenty of shenanigans, as you would expect from Mean Team, with ref distractions, interference, the usual stuff. And in the end, Memes said he hurt his finger. You know, he's going, oh, my little finger. And he got Rick, and the referee Nick, to carry him out. And he's going, oh, going out. And as he's going out, he's throwing up, not Nick, but Memes is throwing up the X, going, oh, my finger, I'm going to see the pearly gates. The dude makes me laugh every time. He is a funny guy. So he'd gone out to the back. I was too busy watching him, so I didn't see what happened to Artemis, but all I can remember was I looked back to the ring and poor old Adonis was left on his own. And the 3 guys give him a beating. He ended up taking the pin, and after the pin, Leo Edwards came out. He gave him a beating, took his belt, got lifted up on the shoulders. I think it was on the shoulders of J.K. Roberts. He was lifting the belt up. So I got a feeling that Leo might be next one in the run for the championship. And then after that, oh yeah, Nick the ref then issued Adonis Payne a stunner. And then the ring announcer also gave poor old Payne a stunner. So, you know, you got a feel for him. These past few weeks, it's not been too good for him. But again, strong performance from Adonis Payne. He sold each of them stunners as if he was, you know, Vinnie Mac getting done by Stone Cold. Yeah, and I think freeing him up from the Square One Championships could push him higher up the card, possibly go for the Young Lions. Yeah, so I think he's definitely going places. And the Mean Team, such a good faction, really are. I mean, you've got the strength and power of Artemis. You've got Adonis Payne there. He's classic heel, winding people up, and Memes is making me laugh each and every time. So yeah, but overall, end of the show, thought it was very good Square One show. Definitely got to go again. You know, Not sure why I haven't gone, but it's a good show, and we'll definitely go again. And I'll give this 4 sugars. Anyway, have a good day.
And I should be back now. I hope you enjoyed Stephen's review of the UBW. I haven't seen his review. I'm sure he absolutely had a fantastic time doing the. He always has a lot of fun with the UBW shows, family-friendly shows. He tends to go with his little boy Jack. I'm sure it was a fantastic show, and I'm sure he really enjoyed himself. And I hope you really enjoyed the our Roman report, Stephen Salmon, giving his review of the Ultimate British Wrestling. On to Just Joe Lando. Big shout out to Just Joe Lando. He is off back to the United States, of course, because he's originally an Orlandoan, where his Just Joe Lando comes from. But he is going to be in America from the 1st of August to the 25th of August. He already has some independent dates booked up. No promotions have been given away just yet, but dates on the 13th and 14th of August, as well as the 19th and 20th of August, have all been booked. So Americans, if you're out there, you're listening, tell your local promotion to get in touch with Just Joe Lando, because Just Joe Lando is a phenomenal performer. All right. Before I go into my top picks for the week and then over to my further roundup, I'm just going to kick you over to Mr. Daniel Allen, Big Daddy Dan, and he is going to recap and review the latest NXT UK. Go.
Hello, everyone from Tea and Tights. Sorry I can't be there for the main show, but here is my NXT UK review. We start off with Mel and Angel Hayes versus Zia Brookside and Eliza Alexander. And it was great. Eliza Alexander and Zia Brookside just make the best team. Really, really good together. They act like a team. They tag properly. Everything about them just screams success. And if they keep going like this, they will be on the main roster in no time. Eliza stops Mel from breaking a pinfall attempt when she shouldn't have done, which allowed Zia to hit the broken wings. Zia gets the pinfall. So this was a true heel win. Very good. Ivy Nile then knocked on Meiko Satomura's door in a very polite way. She walked in, she bowed, and she said, "I have heard that I need to ask for a championship match. May I have one?" Yes. That was easy, wasn't it? All you have to do is ask. So, yeah, Ivy Nile versus Meiko Satomura. I'm excited for this. Like I said last week, only seen Ivy Nile at the beginning. Think she's brilliant. Can't wait. We then had a bit with the East End Bookie Shop. Charles Samuels had a segment calling out Damon Kemp. He had all his usual funny stuff on the board, but not as funny as usual. I'm looking forward to the match. I'm glad it wasn't done as another Supernova Sessions. Thank the Lord. It was still a bit naff. What wasn't naff, no, was Tierman and Rohan Raja versus Jack Stars and Dave Mastiff. Less Sons of Anarchy, more Sons of Apathy. Thank you ever so much, Nigel McGuinness. Raja won a test of strength with Mastiff. Mastiff's meant to be the strongest man on the roster, so this was a big thing to have Raja win that. Tierman was so fast against Stars. Absolutely beautiful chain wrestling. Really fast, really technical. Absolutely great. Charlie Dempsey on the outside did his usual distraction, which is what we expect from Di Familia. Raja takes out Mastiff's knee, and then he body slams Mastiff as well. He really is being put over big as a super strong man. Stars gets the hot tag, which just still messes with my mind to think Jack Stars getting a hot tag. It was good. Dempsey throws Stars' jacket around outside, so Stars attacks him with a Sope Suicida. And then Tierman hits Stars with a jumping DDT for the 1, 2, 3. Di Familia go on to take on Smith and Carter and Mustache Mountain in the 3-way for the Tag Team Championships. Should be good. Lash Legend then cut a promo on Amelia McKenzie, who turned up behind her and beat her up. I don't care much for Lash Legend. I'm hoping the match will be good. Backstage, Sid Scala stopped Dave Familia and bans Raja and Tierman from ringside for next week's match, which is Charlie Dempsey versus A-Kid in a Heritage Rules match. This could well be match of the year. I am so excited for this. Josh Morrell then took on Kenny Williams. Why aren't they using Josh Morrell more? He is phenomenal. He looked great technical start. Kenny Williams was brilliant in his paranoid way, just like, where is everybody? Where are all these people? And then you had different men with masks. And I think I might have recognised one of the men in masks. I think it might have been someone who is greatness, but we shall see. There were 2 men in masks watching. Williams hit his reverse DDT on Morel for the win, and Tiger Turan came out onto the ramp afterwards. Von Wagner was then seen backstage lifting weights. He will be facing Sam Grabwell. No one is big and strong as he is. Out comes Grabwell. Behave, you big dopey Neanderthal. Then they had to pull apart. This will be a good big man match. Lots of big men slapping meat. Can't go wrong. Mustache Mountain with them backstage, and they will focus. Mandrews was then backstage, but he was interrupted by Kenny Williams, and Mandrews reminded him he has no friends. Knowing NXT UK, that probably means we're going to see Mark Andrews versus Kenny Williams. Not going to complain. It was a good match last time. Eddie Dennis versus Wild Boar in a dog collar match. To start with, Dennis refuses to come to the ring, but he's chased out by the Boar. Tope Suicida through the ropes by Boar before the bell, and finally we get the chain on Dennis. Dennis used the chain in many ways, showing his smartness. He tied him up, he whipped him, he held him down with the chain, he used it across the eyes, he beat Boar into the corner and tied him there, had a massive chain punch on him as well. It was a good match. Of course, it was also a case, it was a no DQ match, which means that if you ban Symbiosis from ringside and it's no DQ, what's the chance of them staying away from ringside? None. What can the referee do about it? Nothing. Does it make sense? No. But Wild Boar managed to fight them off without any help, which surprised me. Eddie Dennis accidentally took out Primate. Boar locked in a crossface and then used the chain around Dennis's mouth and eyes to put the crossface on even harder. Eddie Dennis taps. Wild Boar gets massive applause. That is where we end it. It was a good show. It was the best show we've had in a little while, and I am going to respect that in my review here. No crap promos, 4 good matches, 3.5 sugars. Thank you very much, and back to you, Andy.
I should be back now. I hope you enjoyed Big Daddy Dan's NXT UK review there. As I didn't actually watch this week's NXT UK. I've been a bit meh with NXT UK recently, so it hasn't really been at the top of my list of things to watch recently. But I'd say I've got no reference. I can't tell you anything about it. I hope you enjoyed Big Daddy Dan's review. Let's go on to the top picks for next week. Okay, Friday the 27th of May, I would recommend get yourself down to Grimsby for British Wrestling Revolution's Riot Rumble, where you'll be able to see Joseph Connors versus Robbie X for the BWR Heavyweight Championship. There's also Lana Austin versus Natalie Sykes versus Tonga versus Rebecca Resman versus Jenny McKinley in a War Maidens match. The winner will become the #1 contender to Gia Adams' BWR Women's Championship. Plus, of course, it will have the 13-man Riot Rumble. The winner, I assume, gets a shot at the title. I know for a fact that people like RKJ, Risa Rogan, Crash Boat, Leon Slater, 2-Bits, Gotti Rock, Man Like Doris, Nathan Cruz, Will Cruz, Tom Farewell, and many more top stars will be at that show and possibly part of the Riot Rumble. Should be a great show. Saturday, 28th of May, you can go down to Stevenage, my old hometown, for Rev Pro UK's Cruel Intentions. Tony Deppen will be taking on Michael Oku. Ninja Mac will be taking on Robbie X. That's going to be just phenomenally good. I can't tell you how. It's just going to be so amazing. I cannot wait to see that on RPW On Demand. You also get the kickoff of the World Tag League, which includes Lycos Jim versus The Velocities and Smoking Aces versus Aussie Open. Now, I know they recently had their epic encounters last night, but Smoking Aces made their debut in a fatal 4-way tag match, which they came up as the winners. Aussie Open defeated Velocities. Michael Oku had to face Minoru Suzuki in the absence of Will Ospreay, who has a kidney infection. We wish him all the best and hope that he recovers soon. But yeah, so all in all, I've heard again from some fantastic things, in particular about the Alex Windsor and Kylie Ray Women's Championship match. I saw a good few tweets about how excellent that match was, and I don't doubt it, and I can't wait to see it on RPW On Demand. Load it up quickly, Rev Pro. Pro Wrestling Ambush, you know the drill, which is in Ely, Cambridge. Matches like TK Cooper versus Dan Maloney for the Pro Wrestling Ambush Championship. Warren Banks versus Damon Moser. That would be a really, really good match. Mercedes Blaze versus Clementine. That's an interesting matchup. Ashmore versus Tommy Carl, and many, many more. You also have UKPW's Hold Your Color, and I haven't got the location for that one. Connor Mills versus Alexander Roth. Just Joe Lando and Danny Black in a ladder match for the Interregional Championship. That's going to be just, I mean, Danny Black, Just Joe Lando, you know it's going to be great. Sapphire Reed versus Rhia O'Reilly. Sapphire Reed is a very young contender. She is phenomenal. You also have KM Lane versus Callie Gray. KM Lane is another phenomenal young talent, very athletic, very charismatic. Callie Gray is a very interesting competitor, very different to many, many people on the scene, very violent, very difficult to predict young man. So should be another fantastic match. And UKPW's Hold Your Color is in Falconwood. Then on to Sunday, the 29th of May, you've got Rev Pro UK's Mayhem in St. Neots. You've got two more matches from the Great British Tag League that have been announced so far. There's Lycos Gym versus Sunshine Machine, and the Velocities versus Yoda Suji and Shota Umino, who will be representing the Legion. Very interesting developments there. ICW Fight Club in Glasgow. Go check out the tapings there. Jason Reed and Andy Wild be facing the KOE. Kings of the North will be defending their ICW Tag Team Championships against Logan Smith and Jimmy Pierce. Jack Jesser versus Jackie Polo in a number one contenders match. Plus, Mark Haskins, Vicky Haskins, Kez Evans, Angel Hayes, and more will all be there and in action. Great weekend of action, some top promotions, some top stars. Go out there and support your local promotion. Anyway, on to the further roundup. Kamikaze Pro. Huge tag team match has been announced for Kamikaze's 9th anniversary show on the 24th of June in Digbeth, as the 0121 are set to face the Experiment in Terror, which is LK Mezinger and Elijah. And of course, the 0121 is Dan Maloney and Man Like Doris. Plus, in what possibly could be the most entertaining match ever, Session Moth and Charles Crowley are set to clash at Kamikaze's 9th anniversary, and I'm sure a lot of people are excited for that. Superstar Pro Wrestling, fresh off the success of In Your Scale, Superstar Pro return with Masters of the Wrestleverse. This is set for the 16th of July. There will be a 20-person battle royal with more details to come. 1PW. 1PW, Scotty Rourke is the latest name to join the 1PW roster for New Twist of Fate, and that is on the 1st of October. Black Country Championship Wrestling. The Clarkwood brothers are out to settle the score with BCW's Send Us Victorious on the 10th of June as they once again face the 0121, who did bring an end to the Clarkwood's undefeated streak. This is on the 10th of June in the Black Country. Plus, there's a fatal four-way action with CJ Rollins versus Luke Douglas versus Lee Hunter and versus Kian Kelly. And of course, LJ Cleary and Yes Reese have also been announced for Send Her Victorious on the 10th of June. Slam Masters Wrestling in Wales, they are back in Aberdare. I'll really apologise for the Welsh listeners if I butchered that, but I'm sure I did. With Saturday Night Slam Masters, this is on the 18th of June. Can Danny Duggan do what Joel Redman and Doug Williams could not and defeat the current Slam Masters champion, Martin Grant? Of course, Danny Duggan has been on quite a roll for Slam Masters Wrestling. You can also just check out their YouTube, where they've just uploaded the recent Women's Championship match, LA Taylor versus Echo Reed versus champion Mariah May. Go check that out. Kumite Combat Wrestling. So Kumite Combat call out a fan who used a slur against one of their performers that they heard whilst editing their footage, releasing this statement. Reviewing the footage from our last show, whoever it was who used a slur against one of our wrestlers, be aware that you aren't welcome at our shows. If I had caught you on the day, you would have been ejected immediately. I can't say for sure who it was, but in the future, if you hear or see any kind of discriminatory behavior, please tell either myself or Malachi so I can deal with it. We fully support our LBGT friends, both in the crowd and our locker room. Fair play to Kumite Combat for that. It's a great statement to release, and yeah, fully behind that. Don't be a dick. Riot Cabaret Wrestling. Riot's women's roster continues to grow, with Livy Grace and Kelly Van Ness becoming the latest addition ahead of their debut show, the grand opening on the 28th of June. Also joining Riot Cabaret are the close personal friends team of Danny Black and Callum Newman. Who knows what's in store for them. But we have the quarterfinal matchups for the tournament to crown the first champion. It'll be Tate Mayfair versus Dan Maloney, TK Cooper versus Spike Trevay, Cara Noir versus Chuck Mambo, plus Charles Crowley will take on the hand-picked wildcard entrants. It was hand-picked by Mark Andrews, and he picked Just Joe Lando. So we have it: Tate Mayfair versus Dan Maloney, TK Cooper versus Spike Trevay, Cara Noir versus Chuck Mambo, and Just Joe Lando versus Charles Crowley. That is on the 28th of June in London. Another promotion in London is Colosseum Wrestling, and they've added more names to their roster ahead of their debut show. This includes Swedish superstar Regina Rosendahl, Harley Hudson, Heidi Katrina, the Kings of the North, Bonesaw and Damien Corvin, Levi Muir, and MVK Valgabius. And of course, the debut show is on the 16th of July in London. They've announced their first matchup as the Jack and Stack Daddy of professional wrestling. Shreddy takes on the alpha male of professional wrestling, Yestin Reese, in what will be a big men slapping meat contest. All for it. Discovery Wrestling. Oh, we're on a bit of a Mark Haskins. Mark Haskins will finally get his hands on Aspen Faith in a one-on-one match with Discovery at Discovery Wrestling's Disco Derby, which is on the 18th of June. Mark Haskins will also be at United Wrestling as he challenges CJ Carter for the United Wrestling Championship, and that is on the 21st of August, day 6, lighted up in Oxford. Wrestle Carnival. Mark and Vicky Haskins are set to make their Carnival debuts when Wrestle Carnival make their London debut. Also set to make their debut is Ava White. And front row VIP seats for this show have sold out. Back to 1PW as they've announced their first matchup for the new Twists of Fate on the 1st of October. It'll be Mark Haskins with Vicky Haskins in his corner versus Rob Van Dam with Katie Forbes in his corner. Catch Pro Wrestling, a first time ever matchup at the next Monday night Catch Pro as Scotty Rourke takes on Chris Ridgway in a one-on-one match. That's going to be a phenomenal match. It really, really is. Plus, Alexis Falcon versus Lucy Sky and Luke Young versus Big Guns Joe. British Championship Wrestling, they have No Blood, No Sympathy on the 10th of December in Kilmarnock. Former WWE superstar Eric Redbeard, formerly known as Rowan, will be part of BCW's No Blood, No Sympathy, 10th of December in Kilmarnock. Reckless Intent Wrestling, Cruel Summer returns to Livingston on the 2nd of July. The show will feature BT Gunn, Aspen Faith, Theodorus, D99, Caleb Valhalla, and many, many more. The age-old question of which is better for transitioning to wrestling, boxing or karate will be found out at Future Shock Pro Wrestling Show on the 12th of June as RPD, the former boxer, will take on Brian Anderson, a black belt in karate. This should be a great match. Phenomenal Elite Wrestling ahead of their Fallen Angel semi-final match. Mariah May and Ruby Radley will first clash in tag team action as Mariah May teams with Leia Raven, Theodore Raven, versus Ruby Radley and her partner, Luna Blue, who we've heard some really, really good things about recently. Right, some quick Euro wrestling. Well, not quick. There's a lot of news coming out of WXW. This weekend, it is WXW's True Color show, which has Axel Tisca versus Tristan Archer for the WXW Unified World Championship. Peter Tahani will be challenging Maggot for the WXW Shotgun Championship in a match I'm really, really looking forward to seeing. Arrows Are Hungry versus Rotten Flop versus Stephanie Mays and Fast Time Mudo for the WXW Tag Team Championships. Triple threat tag matches, always a bit in with me. Ivor Koloski versus Baby Allison for the WXW Women's Championship. And Igel Blanc versus Senza Volto. Should be a fun card, and I look forward to watching and reviewing for you guys. The next big show following that is Broken Rules. That's on the 11th of June. One match has just been added to the card, which is a surprise benefit scramble match with the Rotation versus Orsi versus Bobby Guns versus Peter Tihani versus Hector Invictus versus Masha Slamovic. So let's go for this. So Rotation is a graduate of the WXW Academy, fantastic high flyer. Orsi is a phenomenal women's wrestler out of Hungary, powerful girl. Bobby Guns, recently obviously at Progress show. Peter Tahani, the superstar out of Hungary. Hector Invictus, another guy who's come out of the WXW Academy. And Masha Slamovic, who has been absolutely killing it on the US independent scene, really. The award for the match will be announced on the night. The next day, which will be the 11th of June, am I right? No, sorry, the 12th of June. On the next day, Chris Ridgway will be making his WXW return as part of a We Love Wrestling double feature. He is set to face Fast Time Mudo. Much like the Scotty Rourke match, Chris Ridgway versus Fast Time Mudo will be absolutely fantastic. During that double feature, there will also be a World Tag Team Festival qualification match as the only friends take on Maggot and Baby Allison. Obvious, I'm gonna, as much as I love Maggot and Baby Allison, I want the only friends in the World Tag Team Festival, which is of course on the 1st of October through till the 3rd of October. More news for WXW. Former ROH superstar LSG Leon St. Giovanni will be making his return to WXW on a short tour that includes dates of the 16th, 17th, and 23rd of July, as well as the 6th and 8th of August. So UK promoters, LSG will be probably available during and around that period. I would get on to either him or WXW and see if you can get him on a show. Bodyzoi have obviously got their 5th anniversary show on the 25th of June, which sees Chris Ridgway take on Igel Blanc, Axel Tisca versus Mike Di Vecchio, L'Enfance Terrible versus Maggot and Baby Allison. But also, rising Belgian superstar Ultimate Sombra will be taking on one of Germany's best in Bobby Guns' 5th anniversary show, 25th of June in Belgium. Finally, in Rings of Europe news, the 6'10" giant from Norwich, Winston, will be challenged veteran Austrian wrestler Michael Kovac for the ROE Heavyweight Championship. Should be a phenomenal match. Good luck to Winston. And you know what? With that said, ladies and gentlemen, and everybody in between, have a great day. And remember, don't feed the trolls.